So you sign Mitchell Miller, bring a bunch of controversy to your team, and then a few days later, you cut them. So the Boston Bruins, they cut Mitchell Miller. It was effective today, November 6th. I don't understand this. I believe Mitchell Miller has a lot of talent. I think he has a lot to offer in that avenue, but when you look into the case more and more, it only seemed like he made apologies when he knew there was going to be ramifications for his future. I don't believe in condemning someone for the rest of their life, but I think someone like that really needs to, have true amount of time to kind of find themselves. And, maybe he should go over to Europe, try to kind of show that he is about change, he is about, bettering himself. Maybe he can do something with a little bit, I would say, less visibility. But bringing him into the biggest and the best hockey league in the world, I mean, it's kind of shocking. Now, for y'all that might say, oh, well, he's going to be in the AHL, it's still, you brought him into an organization. And this became a whole powder keg. It's funny. I even kind of foreshadowed this. I don't know why you bring this powder keg in your organization. That's what it turned out to be. Because Gary Bettman goes on an interview saying that he is not NHL eligible. He's not sure if he ever will be. Then the NHLPA said that Bettman didn't say anything about that and that he does have an NHL contract and was approved by the league. So it just became this whole big back and forth. It seemed like, especially for a team that has been dominating the NHL, it was needless to bring this type of negative press to your team. I'm not saying that's the reason they lost to the Toronto Maple Leafs. Toronto played a great game, but they didn't look like themselves. They just didn't. I think they kind of damaged the locker room, in my opinion, because a lot of people were kind of pissed off that you have somebody with that type of history brought into your organization. It didn't really make sense. Let me read you what Cam Neely had to say. This is what Cam said. Today, the Boston Bruins have decided to part ways with Mitchell Miller effective immediately. The decision to sign this young man was made after careful consideration of the facts, as we were aware of them, that at 14 years old, he made a poor decision that led up to a juvenile conviction. We understood this to be an isolated incident, and that he'd taken meaningful action to reform and was committed ongoing personal development. Based on that understanding, we offered him a contract. Based on new information, we believe it is the best decision at this time to rescind the opportunity for Mitchell Miller to represent the Boston Bruins. We hope that he continues to work with professionals and programs to further his education and personal growth. We owe it to our fans, players, staff, partners, and community to make sure that our practices and protocols are in keeping with the ethos that we demand from ourselves as an organization. As such, we will be reevaluating our internal processes for vetting individuals who wish to earn the privilege of playing in the NHL for the Boston Bruins. We are sorry that this decision has overshadowed the incredible work the members of an organization has done to support diversity and inclusion efforts. We will continue to stand against bullying and racism in all of its forms. To Isaiah and his family, that was the victim, we send the deepest apologies if this signing made you and other victims feel unseen and unheard. We apologize for the deep hurt and impact we have caused. And finally, as a father, I think there's a lesson to be learned here for other young people. Be mindful of careless behaviors and going with the group mentality of hurting others. The repercussions can be felt for a lifetime. Listen, what Cam Neely said at the end, I mean, it does kind of ring true. You definitely got to make sure you treat people with kindness. We all make mistakes. We all might, learn from our ignorance and kind of evolve over time. So I'm not saying Mitchell Miller can't improve as a human being, but I am disappointed in the Bruins. I think when this team is on all cylinders clicking, you bring in this situation to essentially kind of make the locker room a toxic situation. Players weren't happy. And I mean, when you look into the facts, I understand why. This wasn't just a little bit bullying, like, oh, it was swirly, which I'm not saying is cool. He mentally tormented that kid. He never really seemed to give a true apology. Only when his future was on the line is when he thought it'd be prudent to apologize. I'm just, I don't know, I'm very disappointed as a hockey fan. I'm disappointed, especially as a Bruins fan, to see that our organization bring in someone that doesn't really have the greatest character. I believe in giving people second chances, but I just don't think he's atoned enough to really garner that type of contract. He's got talent, and that's great. Athletes have done far worse than him, probably. They actually have killed people, and they have gotten chances. But the thing is, just because there was a wrong done before doesn't mean you keep doing that wrong. Two wrongs do not make a right. An organization as the Boston Bruins, they do need to look internally. And people up the top like Cam Neely, Don Sweeney, they should be embarrassed about this. Because they brought a whole unneeded powder keg into the room. And guess what happened? It exploded. Let me know what your thoughts are down below in the comments section. I'd be interested to know what you think. I'm Captain Paul from the Locker Room, and I'll see you in the next one.